Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we've got another Getting Started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar 3rd edition video for you, and today we're going to be looking at Nighthaunt, and in particular, the Emerald Host, which is a Nighthaunt sub-faction which you can find inside Broken Realms Bellicor, or if you have the Age of Sigmar app, you can find it free at the moment on the app, though that may change in the future. Who knows what's happening? Anyway, to this video, we're going to look at how to get started with an Emerald Host army. We'll look at exactly what we get when we're playing an Emerald Host army in a quick little overview. We'll then look at units you should pick up to begin your Emerald Host, and then look at units you can pick up down the line to add to your Emerald Host army. Lastly, we'll finish off with a little sample 1,000 point army list for you to get your army on the tabletop with. With that all said, let's get cracking and let's start chatting about the Nighthaunt Emerald Host. So the Nighthaunt Emerald Host, as mentioned, it's a sub-faction meant for the Nighthaunt. You can find it in Broken Realms Bellicor. And what it is really is it is Olinda's sort of personal, I guess, honor guard. So Olinda sends out these guys from the Citadel of Dolorum when she's got particular targets in mind, when she marks them with the dreaded Emerald Curse, her sort of kiss of death, if you will. The army focuses on a bunch of undead riders, and so it really heavily focuses on getting hex wraiths in the army. You've got the free use of a command ability once per battle on your general if it's not Olinda, so you can get some cool command ability shenanigans there. And then your hex wraiths also get an extra attack in melee weapons if they made a charge move in the same turn. And in addition, your general will get bodyguard special rules, so they'll be able to ignore wounds allocated to them on a 2+ if they are near a Emerald Host hex wraith unit, so some fantastic protection. A big struggle with Nighthaunt is they've always suffered from having, I guess, smaller heroes that really just can't take a beating, and having Lady O near some of these hex wraiths is just a fantastic option for her to give her some really good protection. On top of this, of course, we are Nighthaunt, so we do get the Nighthaunt battle traits on top of this, or Dread for the minus bravery around our units. We also get Death of Spirits, which is a 6-up ward save for all of our units while they're near Nighthaunt heroes, and of course our heroes get that as well. Feed on Terror is where each time an enemy model fails a battle shock test, you can pick one friendly Nighthaunt hero within 6 inches of that unit and heal 1 wound to that hero. Pretty cool, so some cool sort of bravery shenanigans on either side with failing battle shock tests. And then you've also got From the Underworld They Come, which is where you can put units in the grave and have them pop out and effectively deep strike your units to the table. And you've got the Spectral Summons command ability, where you can use this ability to start of your movement phase. If you do so, pick a friendly Nighthaunt unit on the battlefield, remove them, and set them up near your general, 9 inches away from enemy units. And lastly, the Wave of Terror rule, which is awesome for your hex wraiths. You make an unmodified charge roll of a 10+, you get to fight immediately in the charge phase. So some cool abilities there for the Nighthaunt already, on top of all the Emerald Host bonuses. With that all said though, let's go look at how we can expand this, or rather start this force. To get started, well, let's pick up Lady Olinda. She is going to be the focus of the force. She's a fantastic model in her own right, having some pretty cool rules to start off with. So Lady Olinda, she's going to get us a 4+ armor save hero. She's got ethereal, so she can't take any positive or negative modifiers. She's always got that 4-up save. But then she has 7 wounds. Like I said, her main weakness is she is a little bit flimsy, but in Emerald Host with that 2-up save around the hex wraith, she's going to be really survivable. Staff of Midnight is pretty cool, with 3 attacks at 3/3, Rend 2, damage D3, so she puts out some decent Rend. And for her big one is she's got Frightful Touch, where her handmaidens do some mortal wound, and the Grave Sands of Time, where once per battle in your hero phase you can choose either inflict D6 mortal wounds on an enemy hero within 6, or heal D6 wounds to her. So she's just going to be super survivable. She's got Lifting the Veil, where at the start of the hero phase you can pick an enemy unit within 12 inches of her, and it's visible to her, and roll a dice. On a 1, nothing happens. On a 2, the unit suffers a number of mortal wounds equal to the roll. In addition, if any enemy models were slain by the ability, you can immediately heal D3. So some more healing on top of Lady Olinda. More Attack of Grief, she adds once to the numbers of models that flee from enemy units that fail a battle shock test near her, within 12 inches of her. So add this onto the -1 from the Nighthaunt rule and all the other benefits of gaining some wounds back if units flee. More healing, more units fleeing, some cool stuff. Her command ability, No Rest for the Wicked, is used in the hero phase, and you can use it if she is the general and she's on the battlefield. Return 1 slain model to each friendly summonable Nighthaunt unit. Hex wraiths are summonable. And then Grief Stricken has a casting value of 7 and is her spell. Successfully cast, you can pick an enemy unit within 18 inches of her until your next hero phase, subtract 1 from hit rolls, and add 1 to hit rolls that target that unit with melee weapons. On top of this, for a wizard, she is a 2 cast and dispel in both hero phases. So she's a pretty solid hero, all for a nice little 215 points, and this sub-faction just gives her so much more. Hexwraiths are the unit I would suggest picking up a couple of box with to start off this army. They're a great, fast unit, and of course, they're going to give us all the benefits of playing around with this particular faction and sub-faction because of all the things they can do for Lady O in protecting her and also doing some more damage. The extra attack on their scythes when they charge is really cool, not so much for the damage on the scythes, which are 4s and 3s Ren 1, but rather Frightful Touch, where any attack roll of a 6 that hits with those scythes is going to do a mortal wound, so getting an extra attack on them on the charge is really cool. Spectral Hunters is a really cool rule as well that our Hexwraiths get, where in the movement phase, immediately after this unit is moved, you can pick an enemy unit that has models that this unit passed across, and if you do so, roll a 5+ for each model in, or rather, if you do so, you roll a dust for each model in the unit that passed over, and on a 5+, the enemy unit suffers a mortal wound. So there's some pretty cool abilities there on your Hexwraiths as well, just combining with Lady O really nicely. But where do we look to expand our force from here? Well, let's have a look. The Knight of Shrouds is where I would go next, especially the one on Spectral Steed. Now, you may need to search on eBay or find some of the Soul Wars starter sets to find this particular model, and also the Guardian of Souls we will talk about later. But the Knight of Shrouds on Spectral Steed, first of all, he's going to be able to keep up with your troops, so he's really cool. But also, he gives +1 attack as a command ability. So this, plus charging, getting 4 attacks on each of those Hexwraiths is just going to add up the amount of attacks and add up the amount of mortal wounds we can potentially cause with those units. The Krulgast Cruciator is next. He's got some pretty cool rules as well. So his big one is he's got the Empowering Excruciation rule, where if any wounds were caused by his Phantasmal Torture, which is a 4 attack, 3/3, Ren 2, damage 1, 12-inch range shooting attack, if they're allocated to any enemy models and not negated, that model becomes empowered. And so, Deathless Spirit's battle trait, negate wounds and mortal wounds within 12 inches of him on a 5+ rather than 6+ if he can get empowered. So trying to pick off little chaff units with his shooting attack and get a wound to go through, it's pretty cool for giving you some extra toughness. Add this on, being able to do all the things that you can do with the rest of the army. This is going to be a cool piece to add some more toughness to your force. Black Coach is next, another fast-moving piece that's going to go along nicely with the rest of your units, and also just a fantastic centerpiece for a Nighthaunt army. The Black Coach has some pretty cool wounds where it actually sort of levels up as it goes through. So the Nimbus of Power, where it can either heal some mortal wounds, it then gets the ability to reroll ones to hit and can run and charge. It also gets to do impact hits, can get retreat and charge later, and potentially do some mortal wounds as well to enemy units near it. It's just a really solid piece, the Black Coach. It's got some cool damage. It's a little bit more survival than some of the other Nighthaunt units. All in all, a really nice unit to have in your army, both for looks and usefulness. Lastly, the Guardian of Souls. As mentioned, you may need to go look on eBay for this particular piece. At the current point in time, it's not currently available. It was a part of the Soul Wars box set, the last starter set for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, though it does look like maybe we're getting a new model of this coming out sometime this year. The Guardian of Souls, his big thing is he's got a healing spell. He's a wizard that's going to give you more healing to your army, keep those Hexwraiths in the fight longer. That's really all there is to this guy. He's going to be able to select some extra spells, which is pretty cool, and just give you a little bit more magical ability, but his healing is really what he's there for. With all of this information, let's go look at a little sample army list we put together for the Force. And so here we have our sample army list: Nighthaunt, Emerald Host, Shaiish, and Predator's Domain. Predator's Domain, I really like this army. We've got a lot of fast-moving units, so we should be able to go control the table after we've managed to do some damage. No Triumph for the army, as it is a perfect 1,000 points. Lady Olinda will be our general, and she's chosen to take Shade Mist as her spell. This is a -1 to wound spell, really solid. Minuses to wound are just absolutely fantastic. We've then got the Knight Shrouds on Ethereal Steed, and he's going to take the Traitor's Blade as an artifact, as he has to take this, which just gives him +1 attack. So, you know, cool. An extra attack on our Knight of Shrouds. And then 4 units of 5 Hexwraiths round out our force, giving us a good lot of units to go around, protect Lady Olinda, and also go do some damage. Now, the big thing here is the army is wrapped up in a battle regiment, so it's a 1-drop, but we've also thrown in the Horrorghast. The reason I've thrown in the Horrorghast is this stops you being able to use command abilities in the Battle Shock phase. So this, combined with the fact that you're going to be able to negate bravery, have extra models flee, and get wounds back from failed Battle Shock tests, and all of that, the Horrorghast for me is just a fantastic piece. Not only that, but it also adds D3 to the amount of models that flee from any failed Battle Shock test near it. So it stops you using Inspiring Presence, and also makes you not able, and makes you lose extra models. It's just a really solid piece. I played this in a tournament recently, and I absolutely love the Horrorghast. The army comes, as mentioned, to a perfect 1,000 points with no reinforcement units or allies and 53 wounds on the table, which is solid. Not too overly fantastic, but solid at this points value, and as mentioned, a 1-drop army. If you've been playing with the Emerald Host in the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, I'd love to hear how you're doing and what you're doing with the Emerald Host. It's a fantastic little army for Nighthaunt. I really love the aesthetic of it, and it makes Lady Olinda as good as she possibly can be, which I just love because she is a fantastic model. Well, that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment below and let us know what you enjoyed about the video. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel and turn those bell notifications on so you don't miss a beat when we upload new stuff to the channel. Lastly, if you'd like to help support the channel in another way, you can do so either by helping support the channel on Patreon or YouTube members. This allows us to continue to make new content for the channel, exploring other game systems outside of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, like we have started to with things like Elder Scrolls: A Call to Arms and Conquest: The Last Argument of Kings and Warhammer 40,000, and it helps us just continue to make more Age of Sigmar content as well. Thank you to, though, everyone who has helped support, and we'd like to give them all a shout out to our patrons. First of all, Christian Weir, James Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shop First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, and Samuel. And to our YouTube members as well, Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Vinny Lockloric, The Johnny 84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Sean Scott, and Diplomat. And a special thank you, of course, to, first of all, Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel you see here, and to Xmorphic, who does all the awesome background work on our Discord server, keeping that nice and running properly for us all. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Once again, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against Grey. Ciao for now.